Hello. This is our last video of our look into the EBSCO databases. Last time we looked at approximately half of the databases listed on our library's database page, but today we are going to go over the other half and finish off EBSCO. I'm going to do exactly what I did last time and just go through each one by one and name the subjects that they cover and just go over any details that I think might be useful as you're trying to choose a database to use. Now, keep in mind that you can search multiple databases at the same time using the Choose Databases option on the homepage of every EBSCO database. So, let's get started by going to our homepage at countylibrary.org.
From our homepage, let's once again go to the uppermost menu and click on eLibrary and then on Research Databases. Today, we're starting on Homework Help K through 8. The first EBSCO database is called MAS Complete, which is a database geared towards high school students because it includes popular high school magazines and reference books. However, it also includes primary sources and, according to EBSCO, 1.9 million images, which includes photos, maps, flags, and the like. If you're a student or if you have high school-aged children, this is a good research database. Next is Middle Search Plus, which is basically the exact same thing as MAS Complete, but for middle schoolers. And the last EBSCO database in this section is called Primary Search, which, you guessed it, is just like these other two databases, but for primary school students. That's it for this section, so let's move on to legal. Our first database is called Legal Collection, which is a database of law journals. This is going to focus on current issues, trends, and studies from over 200 respected journals, so it's going to be rather academic and won't really serve as a guide if you're trying to do anything yourself in the legal department. This might be a good resource for law students or anyone studying a certain topic in depth. The next database, the Legal Information Reference Center, is a resource of legal reference books and forms primarily pulled from the NOLO legal guides. So this is the database you should look to if you need free forms or if you're looking for guides on how to work on certain legal actions yourself. The next section is the library category. The first in this list is Booklist, which is a magazine of book reviews. So rather than taking you to the normal database homepage, let's click on it. This is going to take you straight to one of the entries, as we see here, and this entry will list various years and issues of Booklist on the side here, and you can click on these to view them. You can find Booklist here all the way from 1993 to the present day. Let's go back. Also, in this section, we have the Kirkus Reviews here and Publishers Weekly, which are presented in the same format, and they are also review journals. You can also find Library Journal right here, but that's a trade journal for librarians rather than a collection of book reviews. The last database in this section is called LISTA, which stands for Library, Information Science, and Technology Abstracts. Take note that this is yet another database that mentions abstracts. However, you will find some full-text articles. This database focuses on a wide variety of library-related subjects, but also delves into information management, information retrieval, and other topics. This will largely be filled with academic and technical papers. Now, we're moving on to the literature section. And we immediately find a section called find books and book reviews. So just keep in mind that in addition to the previous section we just took a look at, this section under literature is also a good place to look for book reviews. The first database is the Book Review Digest Plus, which is just what it sounds like, book reviews. However, these are professional and sometimes long reviews of various texts. And unlike the other review publications that we saw, this is a database all in itself. Keep in mind, as you're browsing through this, that you're more likely to see titles rather than reviews, but once you click on those titles, you'll find a link to all the reviews included in the database for each title. So you might find it more helpful to search for a title, then go to certain reviews, than to try and find a specific review first. Also in this list is the EBSCO ebook collection, which contains, well, ebooks. You'll find both fiction and nonfiction ebooks for all ages included in this database. It is not centered around a certain topic, so this is pretty broad. Unlike our other ebook resources like Overdrive or Hoopla, you don't have an account signing in with your library card with this service because it's through EBSCO, so you don't have checkout limits. You just search for what you want and read the PDF or HTML file of the book. Up next, now under Find Poems and Short Stories, is the Play Index. Pay special attention to index as used here, because it means you won't find much in terms of the full text. Mainly, you'll find information about certain plays and in what books they may be found. This database is set to hold data for over 30,000 plays written throughout human history. Similarly, the Short Story Index, which is listed next, is more useful for finding short story anthologies and collections rather than the actual texts. The next subsection is Find Research Articles, and the only EBSCO database in here is the Essay and General Literature collection. This database focuses on publications from the United States, Great Britain, and Canada, and it includes collections of essays and miscellaneous other publications. While it doesn't say index in the title, this database is mostly just an index for the works and books. You won't be finding many, if any, full-text publications in here, or even segments. It is solely the indexing information. Let's move on to the next category: magazines, journals, and newspapers. Second in this list, we have the Consumer Reports magazine, all online. Like we saw for some of the book review periodicals earlier, this link is going to take you to a list of years and issues, and you can click on each to read them. Again, this is not searchable in its own right and is actually part of a larger database. If you were looking for something specific in the Consumer Reports magazine, you'd probably be able to search that broader database, but it would search the entire database unless you put limiters to search specifically for Consumer Reports. We covered limiting in some of the earlier videos that we recorded. The next database, Newspaper Source Plus, is one of our main databases for newspapers and television and radio news transcripts. It contains over 860 newspapers, 857,000 transcripts, and 35 million articles. And it's not just an index. In this database, you'll be able to read the articles and transcripts. You'll even find local papers like the Conroe Courier in here, so it's definitely not just national news. The serials directory, found here, includes newspapers, but not so much the articles. It's actually information about the newspapers and periodicals themselves, so you'll find information like the issues per year or the publisher. It even includes prices and contact information for company representatives. This includes newspapers, newsletters, and other serial publications from around the world. The last section containing EBSCO databases is Sciences. and there's 7 databases here. First is Family Studies Abstracts, which is an academic database that focuses on anything related to family studies, including marriage, divorce, family therapy. The articles can get quite technical depending on the subject. What this is not is a database that will supply forms or legal guides. For that, you'd have to go back up to the legal category and use the Legal Information Reference Center as we saw earlier. Psychology and Behavioral Sciences is another academic database which, as we can see just by the title, covers any topics related to psychology and the behavioral sciences. While you will find some fairly technical scientific papers, this database also includes information from popular magazines like Scientific American, Nature, and Psychology Today, so not all of it is intended for those in or entering that field of study. Next, now in the environmental science subsection, is Agricola. This database is absolutely huge, and it pulls solely from records contained within the U.S. Department of Agriculture's National Agriculture Library, and dates back to the 1970s. You may find quite a few results in here that are not full text, but there's still many thousands of full text articles and resources. You'll also find patents, software, reports, monographs, all related to agriculture. Just like many of the other subject-specific databases, there's quite a few scientific articles in here, but there's still a number that are less technical and more readable to those who aren't familiar with the field. Greenfile, right underneath it, is even larger than Agricola. It covers the immensely broad subject of human impact on the environment. EBSCO states that this database consists of scholarly articles, government publications, and general interest papers, so there's a wide variety of sources as well as topics. Full text is included, but there are also quite a few results in here that are just the indexing and abstract information, so you might have to filter to include full text to get past everything else. Further down, we have Computer Source under Physics and Technology. This is a database for everything related to, as EBSCO describes it, high technology, with a focus on current trends and timely information. Understandably, this is going to be quite technical. You can find computer reviews, product comparisons, scientific studies, market information, editorials. As long as it has something to do with computers, this is the database for it. While the focus is on recent trends in the computing world, there are articles from the 80s and 90s, but even these discuss the newest developments of that era. Information Science and Technology Abstracts is quite a bit broader. It is an index, so what full-text articles it may have will be harder to find, but it contains information from books, research reports, conference proceedings, patents, and much more about anything related to information science and technology. Some of the earliest results are from the mid-1960s. Our very last database is the Science and Technology Collection, which is as broad as it sounds. From materials science to aviation, this database is an excellent resource if you're looking for an expansive database with plenty of full-text resources too. This is perhaps best suited to college students and adults in general searching any number of scientific and technological topics. And this concludes our list of EBSCO databases.
As always, thanks for watching. This officially ends our look into the EBSCO databases. Next time, we're going to move on to a database called Reference Solutions, which is a very comprehensive resource, including information for a ton of U.S. businesses. See you next time. Bye.